If you're like, well, I only spend a few hours on my phone a day. This ad, the reason I watched this ad for this Opal app or whatever that like blocks your social media is because the guy was like, so apparently the app is telling me that I'm on track to spend 20 years of my life on my phone. Welcome back to 5 Ideas. I'm your host, Joey Nagel, along with Coach Rich Clay, and today we're talking about social media addiction and doom scrolling and getting on your phone looking for something that you never actually find, and then 3 hours later you've watched so many different types of new dance moves on TikTok that you still don't know how to do and you don't even care, and it's 3 a.m. And I don't know where I'm going with this rant, but I'm pretty sure you feel where I'm at. I've been there. You've been there. We've been there. Why do we go there?
Well, sometimes there's an advantage to being a little older.
Okay.
However, I got to tell you this. I'm not sure it applies to this situation. My wife and I were recently out to eat, and I saw this couple much older than me. And they were sitting at the dinner table. Both of them had their phones out, and neither one of them was talking to each other. And I thought, before we start jumping on people younger than us, I guess addiction's addiction. And just like anything else, you can get into an addiction based on probably a habit.
I've thought about it like when I go to open up Instagram or Facebook or whatever. For me, it's probably more Facebook, although I often delete the app off my phone so I can't even get into it. But if I do ever find myself, I like going to Facebook. I compare it to like going back to the fridge or the cupboard to check again just to see if there's something new in there when it's the same old stale Oreo cookie that it feels like the same thing, but you go back to check just to make sure. And it's almost like this, I'm gonna get on Facebook, I'm gonna get cozy, I'm gonna lay in the couch, and then 3 hours later you're down this rabbit hole. You didn't accomplish anything you actually wanted to accomplish. So like why does that happen? Like why do we do that? Even if it's not social media, like other things, but like why do we go down those holes?
Well, I'm going to give you one word that is not deeply psychological, and it might not even been what you're looking for. But I think number one, accessibility.
It's right there.
It's
easy to get on.
Always there.
Yeah.
And after a while, for me anyway, sometimes I'll pick it up and I'll be going, why did I do that?
Yeah.
I wasn't checking email. I wasn't doing anything important. It was just like my hand just moved and picked it up. It moved and picked it up. And and when are you without your phone?
Never.
I think part of it's accessibility.
And if I am without my phone for too long, I'll get my watch to ping my phone so I can find my phone. So I can't even lose my phone. Okay, accessibility, I agree with that, but like what am I trying what void? Like what is like what am I trying to fill? What do I get? I mean, I guess there's relationship, it's social. There's people on there that you've got that social component, but like
we're not trying to say that social media is bad. I mean, we make a living off of it. Yeah. Everything that we do is on social media,
Right.
I pastor a church, and our church generates so much information and tools and positive things. But what causes you to not be able to put it down?
Yeah, not be able to put it down, pick it back up. Like, what am I?
It's like a bag of Lay's potato chips. You can't eat just one. Remember that old marketing campaign? Well, you wouldn't. You're too young. But it's really true. And studies are coming out, or have been out and proven that. But I think there's something about it.
There's I've seen some studies about the dopamine reaction from when somebody likes a post or comments or whatever. People. I think it really comes from this deep place of like you want people to care about your life, and you want people to care about you. And a lot of times that's where the posting side comes from, and the scrolling. Maybe you want to see what other people are up to. Maybe you want to compare yourself, see how you're doing relative to your friends, and relative to compare your life, make sure you're up to par and keeping up. Those are some things I've kind of
Yeah,
maybe felt a little temperature on a bit.
Ooh, you brought something up, and so we're just rolling with this for right now. But in one of our previous podcasts, we talk about loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great episode, by the way. And if 60% of Americans are saying they are lonely, is social media creating a virtual world of...
It's like an almost relationship, but
Yeah.
not real.
I like that, almost.
It's almost real interaction, but it's missing something.
It's close enough to fool you.
It's close enough to fool you and close enough to keep you coming back.
And it's controllable.
True.
You can control.
If you don't like that person's thought, blocked. If you don't like the way they treated you, delete, block.
And you can
unfollow.
You can also create. You can create an image. You can create. You can kind of create. Somebody doesn't know you. This is who I am.
I think it's a lie. I think
it's a what?
I think it's a lie. Like, not true. I think social media at the end of the day is almost a picture, but it's the auto-tuned, spell-checked, airbrushed. It's the perfect version of what kind of is happening in your life. Only the perfect version of it. And I think it's a lie. And we know that lies keep us in bondage, but the truth actually sets us free. And it is bondage. It's like handcuffs. If you can't put it down, if you can't put it down, it's chained to you. You can put stuff down that's not chained to you, but this is actually chained to me right now. I've got a little bit of a healthier relationship than I've had in the past with social media due to a lot of things that I've implemented from coaching with Rich, but it's chained to you if you can't put it down. It's like, and you have to keep picking it back up. You have to carry it with you everywhere you go. But you want it to be there for some reason.
And I've heard people speak to this, and they've given a lot of good suggestions. Like, there needs to be a limitation of time. But I don't know.
There's actually this new app I just saw. Because this is becoming a pressing issue, I may have screenshotted it. Let me look. Not sponsored by it, obviously, but I think it's called Opal or with Opal or something along those lines. But basically what it does is it makes your apps inactive. You cannot access them for a specific time period on your phone. And I've seen other things, and they don't all work that well because there's ways to bypass them. But I think this one might be a little bit more cutting edge. But why are people creating apps to allow you to not check your social media? Like, you can't do it yourself, so you have to have an app limit you. That's weird. It's accessibility. And people are trying to limit their access to these things because it is creating a real problem in people's minds. But, like,
if it's always with you, you're going to check it. And think of this. It's almost a sin not to have your phone with you.
Yeah, it is.
Especially,
it's like, I was trying to get a hold of you. Where were you? You didn't have your phone with you? Are you lazy? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Accessibility. And we're so accessible to everything all the time. I mean, because your phone is not just social media. It's emails.
That's true.
And so, click, boom, bing, email from work. When do you shut that off? And one of the things that I think we've addressed in a podcast, if not, we're going to, it's rest.
Absolutely.
And rest is a huge part of health and fitness.
So what can I do to what can I do to replace the habit that I'm getting when I'm doom scrolling on my social media, when I'm just looking for something that may not even be there on social media, just scrolling endlessly? How do I put that away and get what I'm actually looking for from a better, healthier source? Like, how do I do it?
I think it starts with asking yourself, what am I looking for? So, and I'll give you this as an example, okay? One day I'm scrolling through Instagram and I like to look at, people that are doing things outdoors and adventure, all that. And I felt this voice inside of me say this: do you want to view other people seeing other people have an adventurous life, or do you want an adventurous life?
Yep.
And it caused me to put that down and say, I want to live an adventurous life. So at that point, why am I looking? I answered, why am I looking? I'm looking for adventure. I'm looking for excitement. I don't have it in my life right now. I'm grinding at work and I'm grinding at life, and look at this. This person's, climbing Mount Everest or doing that. And then I realized, well, what if I took the time that I'm looking at this and went out and started to get myself in shape? Maybe someday I could do something adventurous.
And if you're like, well, I only spend a few hours on my phone a day. The reason I watched this ad for this Opal app or whatever that like blocks your social media is because the guy was like, so apparently the app is telling me that I am on track to spend 20 years of my life on my phone.
20 years.
20 years. That's what hooked me.
Are you serious?
It was a great ad, by the way.
I mean, just saying that, listen, because we're different ages here. That's what I love about this podcast, 2666, is 20 years. That almost makes me want to just like get rid of my phone.
Yeah.
Like I'm not wasting one more minute. I don't have that many years left.
20 years ago, I'd be 6 years old. What if I had wasted my whole life on my life? Here's the thing about that, because Rich just said like climbing Mount Everest. You're like, if I'm not on my phone for my evening, I'm not going to be able to just go climb Mount Everest instead. But like 20 years sounds like you could climb Mount Everest in a weekend or go do something fun, go to the beach, go whatever. Just go do something like that you're seeing on social media, something that you're getting on there to watch and view, something that you're binging the show, some kind of adventure like that you're wanting to live vicarious through somebody else. Go do it. And apparently you've got 20 years if you just put your phone off to the side. You got 20 years of free time to go do that.
Wow. I didn't know that. That hit me like right here. Well, let me ask you then, because your generation, you grew up, and so how much of social media is real?
Probably not much. It's close to real. I feel like it's like
define close to real. What does that mean?
It's like, okay,
the person's real.
Right. Person maybe is going to grab some Starbucks, grab some coffee, gonna sit down and read a good book and whatnot. And they go to the coffee shop, they frame this perfect picture. They're like, I love relaxing with a good book at Starbucks and whatever. And you see the picture, and in your mind, there's no one else in the shot. It's this you and yourself with this book and this coffee, and you're imagining this euphoric, like whatever. And then you go to try to do it yourself, and you're like, it's loud in there. There's people yelling, hey, your drink's ready, blah, blah, blah. Stacy, blah, 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 drink's ready, order pickup. It's like noisy. There's crumbs. There's flies flying around. I mean, it's like this environment that's like not true. And so when you go and try to compare yourself to the picture that you saw, a lot of times it doesn't match up. Or vacations are a prime example. You see somebody out at the beach, legs in the sand, picture of the ocean, nobody else is in view. And then you go to the beach and you book it during spring break, and you're standing in line just to go down your elevator for 30 minutes in your giant high rise at the beach. You get to the beach, it's super hot, super humid, jellyfish in the water, can't even swim. Like that's where I'm saying it's almost real, but then you get out there and it's not quite there. I don't know.
Is it that we're not satisfied with our life and we're looking for that life where our time at Starbucks was perfect, our time on vacation was absolutely perfect? But I heard one time is that you don't take vacations to have this relaxing, enjoyable time. You take vacations to make memories.
Yep, that's true.
And I'm wondering if what social media, the draw is that we're looking for something that doesn't really exist.
It doesn't even exist within the people who make it look like it does. That's where it comes down to. Like, you'll see these people, like, for an example, I saw this lady who had a marriage podcast with her husband, and she's a huge influencer. They had a marriage podcast, like a marriage morning show, and they were like known for it. And then a couple months, go by or whatever, and she's posting that they got divorced. And so you're like, I was getting all my advice from them, and now they're divorced. And it's like, I never saw that coming. How does something like that happen? And it's that might be an extreme case, whatever, but I'm thinking we're going on social media to try to fill a void that could be filled almost just by not going on social media.
And who would argue with that? Who would argue with that?
I don't think,
say no. That's not why I go on social media.
I think everybody wants to be on it less, and they want to. Honestly, that's why this app is such a following. Like, everybody wants to be on it less, but no one knows how to be on it less
because it's right here, and I'll just check this one thing.
Then it consumes you. So, I mean, one idea. Maybe check out an app like that.
Okay.
One idea. What I do actually is I put my phone in airplane mode, because in airplane mode, I can still use my camera to take pictures. I can still do a bunch of stuff that my phone does, but it cannot receive calls, can't receive texts, can't receive emails and stuff like that. That's one way I really maximize my vacations and times like that. And really don't try to maybe like base your values off of what you see other people seeming to be having fun in. Maybe base your values off of what you actually want to do.
Yeah, I think for me, what I'm walking away from is there's 20 years. I'm not wasting it. I don't want to waste 20 years of my life. I don't want to waste one day of my life watching something that I could be doing. I want to live life.
100%.
Not observe it.
And I've experienced just as much joy sitting in my own home with a good book and a good cup of coffee on a beautiful Saturday morning, peace and quiet, as I did driving all the way 18 hours or 14 hours to the panhandle of Florida and sitting on the beach doing the same thing. Sometimes it's not about the location, the destination, the thing that you think everybody needs to have. Sometimes it's just about what's valuable to you. You can get that same experience in a lot of different ways. And so maybe take some of these ideas, maybe comment some ideas that you guys have as well. And we really thank you guys for spending some time with us on this episode of 5 Ideas. We have dozens more episodes out, and we're going to keep producing episodes every Friday. So if you want to spend some time building you and maybe getting some quality while you're on, because you're on social media right now if you're watching this, so maybe spend some more time instead of doom scrolling, get some more brand new ideas and check out some more of our episodes. And with that, we thank you for joining us on the show, and we'll catch you on the next episode of 5 Ideas.